After the procedure is completed, Andrew is very satisfied with his new look. Not long after that, Andrew finally returns to Amanda's home. When he enters the house, he sees a young woman who looks exactly like a young Amanda. Andrew greets her, but the young woman is afraid to see him. The real Amanda suddenly walks in. She has grown old and is initially puzzled to see Andrew, but soon recognizes him. Apparently, the young woman is Amanda's granddaughter, Portia. Andrew and Amanda talk for a while before Andrew returns to live in his wooden beach house. One rainy night, Andrew finds a dog on his porch and decides to adopt it. Sometime later, he visits Portia with his dog. After their first meeting, Portia seems to be cautious of Andrew. Andrew finally reveals that he wants a friend to talk to and seek out a human connection. Knowing that, Portia ends up accepting him as part of her family. Several years later, Andrew goes to a futuristic hospital where Portia tells him that Amanda had a stroke. He then walks into Amanda's room and approaches her. Andrew also notices that Amanda still has the wooden horse figurine in her hand. The two say goodbye before Amanda dies peacefully. At that point, Andrew only can feel heartbroken as he is unable to produce tears. He realizes that all those he cares for will also pass on. Not satisfied with his agelessness condition, Andrew goes back to Rupert and asks him for a new internal upgrade. Andrew presents his ideas to create artificial organs that not only can be used in humans to prolong their lives, but also to replace his mechanical workings. Although it seems impossible, Rupert is willing to help him. While working with Rupert, Andrew learns to become more human in his language and expressions. Rupert asks Andrew whether he is ready for this drastic change. Andrew does not seem to have any hesitation in his thoughts and wants to proceed with the procedure, even though he will feel emotions other than happiness. As they work on the upgrade, Andrew continues to visit Portia. The two are getting closer and start spending time together. Portia invites Andrew to a party in a building that she has just recently renovated, and he happily accepts. The two dance passionately at the party. At one time, Portia invites Andrew to walk into a park. Uncomfortable with her feelings for Andrew, Portia tells Andrew that she cannot invest her feelings in a robot. Despite all that, she will always consider him a good friend. Hearing that, Andrew looks a little offended and says that things can always change. He then returns to Rupert and completes the final stage of his upgrade. As soon as the upgrade is complete, Andrew quickly visits Portia and asks her to poke his eye. He is very happy now that he can feel pain. Andrew tells Portia that he has installed a nervous system into his body, allowing him to feel emotions too. To test it, Andrew asks her to kiss him and the two share a quick kiss. However, Portia feels guilty about the kiss and finally reveals that she is getting married to her boyfriend soon. Knowing this, Andrew flatantly wishes them the best, but his response annoys Portia. She wants Andrew to realize for himself that he actually loves her too. Portia tells him that in order to become more human, he has to do wrong thing. Humans will always be doing wrong things, and they should learn from those mistakes. Andrew seems to take her advice before he leaves. In the meantime, Galatea has somehow become hostile towards Rupert. Galatea says that she is very tired of him bossing her around. A confused Rupert initially does not know what happened to her, but soon realized that Andrew has removed Portia's personality chip. He then revisits Andrew and asks him to return the personality chip to him. Andrew is reluctant at first, but ends up giving it to Rupert. Rupert follows Andrew to Portia's engagement party. Andrew expresses how much he hates Portia's fiancé. Rupert informs him that it is a sign that he is jealous of Portia's relationship. This makes Andrew realize that he is actually in love with her. On the other side, Portia seems to be looking forward to Andrew coming to take her away from her fiancé. At night, Rupert tells Andrew that he is working on a new upgrade that would enable Andrew to have sexual relationships. Andrew is fascinated to hear it as it will allow him to become a complete man. 2 weeks before the wedding, Andrew visits Portia, who is making wedding preparations at the same church where Amanda got married. After understanding what Portia meant earlier, Andrew finally declares his love for Portia. Andrew already knows that Portia loves him too. He encourages Portia to do the wrong things just like he did. To convince her, he asks Portia to kiss him one more time. Both of them share a passionate kiss. They end up in bed together after an intimate night. In the morning, they have breakfast together as Andrew gains the ability to eat and drink. However, Portia informs him that their relationship will never be accepted because he is still not a human. Realizing he has to do the next step, Andrew petitions the World Congress to recognize him as a human being. Sadly, the World Congress ends up rejecting his case, expressing concern that an immortal human will cause jealousy from others. Andrew and Portia stay in a relationship for decades. Portia is now 75 years old, while Andrew remains the same. After playing chess, Portia expresses her thoughts about her mortality. By that time, the advanced technology allows Portia to live forever, but she does not want to. She thinks that human beings are meant to live for a certain time and then pass on. Andrew understands her, but states that he could not stand to live without her. Because of this situation, Andrew returns to Rupert for one last upgrade. Rupert's company has now earned him so much wealth. Andrew asks an elderly Rupert to change the artificial fluids driving his body into a blood equivalent. Rupert cautions him that the blood will not last forever, eliminating his immortality. Andrew will have around 30 or 45 years to live before he dies. He simply accepts his fate and the upgrade is finally complete. Several decades afterwards, Andrew ends up at the World Congress again to appeal their past decision. This time, he appears very old. His hair is white and his face is full of wrinkles. An older Portia also comes there to support him. Andrew tells the World Congress that he wants his humanity to be acknowledged by others. He chooses to live once as a human instead of living forever as a robot, wanting to be able to die with dignity. The World Congress hears his pleas, but asks for some time before they make a decision. In 2205, Andrew lays next to Portia with his body deteriorating. Both of them are under life support monitored by Galatea, who has now become more human and appears with a human appearance. The two hold hands as they watch the live broadcast of the World Congress's decision. The World Congress finally recognizes Andrew as a human being. He becomes the oldest human in the world with an age of 200 years. This also